Hello, welcome everybody to the Blockchain Podcast, our regular update to everything that is happening in the blockchain. Oh, let's not say everything, but everything that is relevant to the mobile world, to the payments, to the banking sector, to anything we talk about in the Mobile Ecosystem Forum. We regularly do it with somebody that knows about it and has got direct experience. So not just a commentator, but a doer of blockchain. Hi, Daniele. Hello, Daniele Menzi.
Thank you, Dario. Nice being here as always. Very happy.
Great. Thank you, Daniela. Now, sometimes we talk about the news, and there is a lot happening in blockchain, but today we don't. We talk about the systems. Well, actually, we are defining the new terms and terminology and the new models. Can I do a game of play? We are is a question of DeFi. Oh, how do you sell it? What are we talking about today? DeFi?
We're talking about DeFi.
DeFi. And remind me, what does DeFi stands for?
DeFi, it's a nice word actually. It's a nice buzzword. Stands for decentralized finance. You know, it's something which is I'm so passionate about it. So as a whole, as the whole movement, as the whole industry, because it has a tremendous impact in our life, and hopefully to improve it and not to get it worse. So decentralized finance is an evolution of two things. Number one, probably all of us have heard the term or the buzzword open finance, that we associated, at least for the people working in the industry, as a kind of an API approach to have users being able or capable to switch from one player to another one in a very seamless manner, kind of. From a user point of view, user experience point of view, was kind of cumbersome to understand, because you've seen plenty of brands, procedure, you had to do something, people concerned. So because you don't clearly understand, first of all, what is the benefit? You need to understand how you're going to do, okay? So DeFi is kind of a merge of what it used to be, at least in the former concept, open finance, plus the potential of the blockchain, the so-called decentralized nature of a blockchain. What does it mean? If you want to go into detail, I don't want to explain. I would spend days, going into details in all the application because I love it, okay? But decentralized in finance, in essence, is a network, which is a network of application which are run by smart contracts. Smart contracts are program instructions built on a blockchain protocol, automatically executed.
Now, Daniela, let me take one step back, because I want to check that we understand the first step, which is open finance.
Yeah.
Open finance. Give an example to me. Is it the questions of my relationship with the bank is not such a close-knit relationship? I can now move it. What exactly I can do with open bank? Is my data moving? Is my money moving? What's happening with open finance?
Let's say the idea of DeFi, has been inspired by the initial idea of the open finance, which is essentially, I can deal with whoever in a certain industry. I mean, talking about finance here, not talking about other applications. So me as a user, I would be able to switch from one provider to another one, or use one application to another one without any constraint. And the DeFi has bring this to the limit. Because think about, very simply, let's take the example of insurance. We can make tons of examples. But today, how an insurance works? Essentially, there is a process of onboarding of a client according to certain rules. And then there is a match of identity validation of the person and also the risk profile of the person against some products that can match the interest of that prospective or that client, okay? So this is what an insurance is doing via automatic, manual process, doesn't really matter. So, but essentially, every single insurance behave according to their own models that they define according to their own system, might have the same database in the back, doesn't really matter, but any of them might apply different rules. In DeFi, it's very different because in most of the, I cannot say in all because I cannot really tell I know everything. Sometimes, I mean, very often, there are things that I don't know. I would say it's much more the time that I don't know once I know. So in fact, I cannot really tell everything, but at least the applications I know, which are the most common used in the DeFi, are run by applications that do not validate the identity of a person. So in fact, I can transact by just, for example, putting some money, in this case, cryptocurrencies, Ethereum, as a collateral, okay? Let's say an insurance contract worth, I don't know, $100. I put my $100 as a collateral, and then I can take a benefit of this contract, which is automatically executing an order in a certain occurrence. Let's make an example to make things even more complex. Let's say I want to be insured if where I'm living there will be floods. Okay, it's just an example.
Yep.
So as soon as the condition is met, okay, there are floods in the street where I'm living, or there are certain conditions which are being met, the smart contracts automatically liquidate the premium to me. And the money I put in the contract, the money I put into the DeFi is needed to validate that I can get access to that contract. But that contract doesn't know there is Daniele Menzi, I'm living where I'm living, I have a house or I have a flat, whatever. You just need to subscribe. You don't need to provide, you just need to provide some information, obviously. For example, the location you have to provide, otherwise you cannot really take the benefit out of it. I'm just making a simple example that can be getting complicated. But so in fact, what I'm saying is that the smart contracts work without first validating the identity. As long as you know the rules of the smart contract automatically execute those rules, and you don't even have to make a recurring payment as it happens in the normal world. But as long as you have a collateral that fulfills the condition of a smart contract, the contract's executed. I can have, tons of examples. This is just, something extremely simple. There is one, which is the one that I'm using actually in my almost a day-by-day business. This is the part of the business I'm running, which is the exchange, exchange of cryptocurrencies. So in fact, today, if you want to buy Bitcoin, what people doing today? First thing that people that are not in crypto, they go on Google and say, buy Bitcoin. That's the worst thing to do because you end up in the worst possible site, and eventually you buy Bitcoin something, which is not the Bitcoin core. And then you realize that you bought something at a very high price, but at the end of the day, you don't have what you wanted to buy because there are many Bitcoin, there's not only one, okay? So once you want to buy Bitcoin, for example, then you can use a centralized platform like Coinbase. Coinbase is just an example. It's a very known one. So what do? You go on Coinbase, you register, you put your identity there, you pay using fiat via wire or via credit card, $100, $1,000, doesn't really matter. Once everything is validated from the side, then you execute an order in a trading platform. You say, I want to buy $1,000 worth of Bitcoin. And then they give you the equivalent amount of Bitcoin into the Bitcoin wallet. So then you have it. Then you can decide whether you want to trade or you want to store and you want to hold the position. In a decentralized finance, all these nice platform with all the colors and all the blinkings, probably you've seen some trading platform. Very nice, very impressive for those people that don't understand what does it mean and to look interesting to the perspective of other people. It's always good to say, oh, this is what I'm doing. I'm a trader, and so in fact, decentralized finance works very differently than what I just mentioned, because you can enter into the system. You need to have cryptocurrency. So number one. So this means if you want to start from fiat, you have to first convert fiat into crypto, and then you can enter into decentralized finance. So as soon as you have crypto, let's say Bitcoin or Ethereum, then you can park your currency over there, and you can get an interest out of the currency you lend. In this case, I'm just providing you an example of a lending platform. So you park your Bitcoin into this decentralized protocol. One of these is called Uniswap, and then you get a fee, 7% fee, 6% fee, 10% fee. It depends on a yearly basis. So depending how much coin you park in the platform. But to do that, you don't have to provide your identity. You just need to provide access to your wallet, and you just need to provide collateral to run the transactions. So meaning that Ethereum or the gas to run the transaction that has a cost. That's it. It works very, very differently.
Let me then ask you, as a user, when might I be able to start enjoying some of these DeFi products? Is that something that can go out?
Yesterday.
Yesterday.
It's already running. So I don't remember by heart how many billion already in decentralized finance, but it's booming. Since August, this is booming.
Fine. So here, Goran, we don't just talk about technology at MEF. We talk about your personal finance.
Yeah.
So don't take our advice. That's not what
There's no financial advice here, first of all. We're just educating people what's going on. We provide some personal comment, but there's no financial advice at all.
Well, perfect. So now, what would you say that instead, as a business, as an industry, that would be affecting? So the impact on a bank trying to offer products? Is there an impact on a business, on a startup? Some of them are our listeners. So who do you think could enjoy or be threatened by DeFi?
So first of all, who can enjoy this? Any financial player. Any financial player can use DeFi as a means to launch a new product on the market. Anyone, insurance, lending, trading, all of them can use DeFi as a platform, as a set of protocols, actually, there's not only one, to launch decentralized financial application. So that's the opportunity. So it's mostly for new businesses that truly understand the digital nature of finance. I'm so passionate about the evolution of finance that happened in the last couple of years that it's, impressively increasing the speed of the light right now. So also traditional players like bank, like institutional insurance and so on, they're entering into the space not of decentralized finance, obviously. They're trying to understand how does this work and how can they position, because their business is centralized in nature. So once you decentralize, then you lose control, because you let people transact each other and you have no means to infer into what happens into the transaction. You have no means to do that. As long as you provide the rules and people accept those rules, you have no means to control those rules, and they're very open and transparent. So it's a massive shift in how finance works, because most of the financial rules are clear for people that work in finance, but they're a little bit less clear for the normal people on the street.
Well, it comes with a great power. It comes with a bit more of education. It sounds like you might need to understand some of the things you're doing, but it will be easier. You're saying you will have operations. You might need to know where to go, but at least it will be available for you to operate directly in an open finance model with DeFi.
Decentralized finance.
In a decentralized finance model.
Yeah. So my LinkedIn profile, in my headline, I put decentralized finance as the first, because this is at least what I'm experiencing right now. This is the biggest evolution of what happened on top of the blockchain, because blockchain at the end is the underlying, right? So it's while, for example, when you're buying things on Amazon, you don't need to understand TCP/IP. So blockchain is the TCP/IP of Amazon, while decentralized finance is a true application like Amazon, where you can do things as long as you understand. Right now, user interface, user experience are very techy. So if
Yeah.
you're not a financial, if you're not, let's say, a digital financial specialist, you had some problem to understand how does this work. It's very, very, very technical. So at least how to start, how to put some money. Once you have to put money, you need to know what is this about? Are you risking? It's safe. Can your funds be stolen? All of this. So all this, it's right now, even though there are some billion already in decentralized finance, all this definitely is an area of improvement. Security, cybersecurity, and so on and so forth, because you touch people money, you touch people life.
True. Well, that has an interesting challenge for some of our members of MEF. Customer experience is at the heart of what mobile has been doing the last few years. So if you want to find the new e-commerce applications, here it is, your decentralized finance, your DeFi. That will be probably changing the word next. We'll see. Exciting times. Well, as always with blockchain, just like the Bitcoin value, it seems to go up and down and up and down. Excitement is definitely part of this system.
Love it. I mean, what happens in these days, it's amazing. I like, I probably already said this. I love volatility, because volatility, it means you're dealing with something that is true. True doesn't mean good or bad. It is the way it is. While when you see things which are stable, artificially stable, then you might be exposed to risk that you don't see, but when you see it, it's too late. While with volatility, you can always take action. You can always enter and get out of a position, because you see there's a lot of movements, right?
It's definitely dynamic, it's definitely active, and now with different tools, you can take part of it. So
Indeed.
Well, Daniele, that was great. So we will think of the implications for each one of us as consumers and as business. Meanwhile, we'll have to wait until the next podcast to discuss more about blockchain, decentralized finance, and who knows what by then. In this time, 1 month or a few weeks is a big, big time in blockchain. So that we're not going to miss it all. We're going to come back to you and ask questions. Daniele, thanks again.
Thank you very much, Dario, for your time. Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.